USO stands for United Service Organization that helps support social morale by giving them a place to relax along with providing them with entertainment and good food. As a volunteer, I facilitate this activity for soldiers and their families to provide them with a more enjoyable time and provide them with assistance, especially during this time when they are currently training with the Ukrainian soldier and living in harsh conditions. Now let me show you what we do at the USO. The USO is always looking for volunteers, so check out their website for available spot if you are interested. Although they are not accepting community food donation, you can always donate funds to their program, join me, and spread love and kindness to the soldiers in the season, because in times of darkness, love is the key.
All right, without further ado, let's welcome Nguyen all the way from Germany.
That's right. I guess we'll do it in the dark. And there you go. So, you came all the way out from Germany.
That's right.
Thank you for coming all the way out there, or from there here. Obviously, you do a lot of great work with the soldiers, but this is something else I learned about when I was working with you. You were really good at me working with you and being your coach, but I found it was very surprising as I talked to you that you weren't always like that. You were actually someone who actually hated taking advice, taking criticism, taking any kind of feedback. Where did this all start from? What's your earliest memory of you taking any kind of feedback or criticism?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here. I am glad to see you today, Francis. I'm very excited to be here with you. So one of the stories that actually stick out to me regarding feedback is when I was around, I think, 10 years old, when I was in 5th grade. At the time, I was in my class, just like a normal day. And I remember my teacher was calling my name, and she was like, I want you to come up here and solve this math problem. I'm like, okay. So I was very confident as a kid, and I think that I always made straight, and like I always made all A in the class. I got this. So I walked to the front of the class and started solving the math problem. And while I was doing it, everything was quiet in the background, right? But all of a sudden, somebody hit me in the head. Bang. I was shocked. I'm like, what's going on? Why somebody just hit me? And then I turn around and I see my teacher. She was looking at me. And I was very angry. You know, as a kid that I think I know it all, I was very angry. I was like, did I do something wrong? I was giving her that look, asking her, did I do something wrong? And then she was starting to explain why she hit me. So at the time, in my culture, in Vietnam, you know, the teacher allowed to hit the student in the class. And that's why she's allowed to hit me. And at the time, I was so angry that I did not even listen to whatever she has to say. I just wanted to wait to let her finish. And I just want to walk out and go home. I was so angry, I cannot comprehend anything she has to say. So after she finished, blah, 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 I went back. I just completed the day, and then I went home. When I got home, I was really, really upset still. And then my mom noticed my behavior, and she think that, oh, you're acting strange today. And she was asking me, are you okay? Is anything happening at school? And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, my teacher hit me today. This is the first time ever that she hit me. And I was not happy about it. And she was like, well, what'd you do? And I told her, Mom, I said, I think I did the math problem wrong. And you know what she told me? She said, well, you're going to learn it today. And I don't know how to respond to that. I was quiet. I was silent for like 30 seconds. And then I get so mad, so I went back to my room. And I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to talk to nobody today. I'm not going to talk to anybody today. Everybody seemed to, ruin my day. I was angry. I was so angry. But then the next day when I wake up, I realized that maybe it happened for a reason. Maybe the reason why my mom told me this is because, she want to teach me something. She want me to learn something. And I realize that sometimes in life, it is hard. And when you have to take feedback in a harsh way like that, it's not very pleasant. But at the same time, it helps you learn. It helps you grow to be a better person in the future. So that's my first story.
So that tells me, like, one of your most powerful memories of getting feedback served you with punishment. Just right off the bat. You're giving feedback and punished at the same time. And that was just the strike in your head. You were actually embarrassed in front of your peers.
That's right.
Right? And on top of that, you couldn't find any allies. You told your mom, you're hoping your mom would say, oh, teacher was wrong. And your mom said, no, your teacher's right, you're wrong. And so on top of that, you just have to process and accept maybe that you were wrong. So if you're able to get through that, get over that, and you're probably at that point much better at taking this feedback and academic performance. But later on, you told me, as you went through life and when you came up to state for college, right?
That's right. I actually came to the state when I was, I think, around 12 or 13 years old, and I migrated with my family from Vietnam to America. And when I first got to America, I started junior high school. And it was good, but the only thing is that it was hard still because I didn't speak any language. Like, I didn't speak any English. So it was very difficult. I had to really learn everything all over again. So that was a challenge.
So then when you went to college, there was a incident with one of your professors you really loved and respected, but that resulted in him giving you, again, feedback. But this time not about your academic performance. This is about your personal character. How was that for you?
So the second story I wanted to talk about today is that during college time, I passed through junior high, I passed through high school, then I go to college. It was still in the same city that I stay in. I never left that city. And at the time I was in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And my family still lived there. So I went to this university inside of the city, and I adore this university. It has a beautiful campus. But I have a lot of great professors that actually helped me take a lot of their time out of their day to help me with whatever I'm struggling with. And one day I remember I was angry again. I guess I was an angry person or something when I was younger. I was angry again. I came to his office and I know that he's the only person that I could really talk to. So I came in and I was like ranting about this incident that it happened with a certain group of people, and I didn't like them. I really don't want to associate with these people, blah, blah, blah. I was going on and on and on. And at the time, he did not say anything. He was silent the whole time, just to listen to me. And I appreciate it, right? And then when I finished, I remember he asked me, are you finished? I'm like, yes. And then he made one comment. He told me, you are so shallow. I was shocked because I'm like, wow, he never said things like this to me before. What is happening today? Like things changed something? And then after that, he explained to me. He was saying, you know what? I understand that you have negative experience with this group of people today, but that doesn't mean that everybody in that group of people are bad people. So you cannot really make a judgment based on just that one experience. You have to really open your mind. Look at a bigger picture and see how it's going to change your perspective. And at the time, I was a young adult, so I was able to take feedback much better than before. Because before I didn't even want to listen. But now I take the feedback, and I said, okay, thank you for your feedback. I went home and I started thinking about his lecture to me. I guess at the time I called it a lecture. I was thinking about it, and I was saying, you know what, he's right. Because not everybody in a certain group of people is bad. It's just my experience at that time. It was not good, and yes, it angered me, but I shouldn't be judging everybody, right? So that's how I learned from them, and I started learning about this group of people, and in fact, they have a lot of great things about it. And I started liking them. I even make friends with them. I have great connection with these people later in life. And so that's one of the lessons that I also learned. And it's another thing that actually helped boost me to actually start taking feedback better.
So was it different for you to take feedback from your academic performance versus taking feedback about your personal character?
Well, I really do think it's the same thing. I think it's how you respond to it, it's how you take it. And the most important thing is that when somebody gives you a feedback, it should never feel like they attack your personality or character. Because if that was the case, then that's not a feedback. So I was very fortunate that a lot of the people in my life, every time they give me feedback, they never really insult me or try to make me feel bad. In fact, when I look at them, I feel like they care enough to actually tell me something to make me become a better version of myself. So I really do think that either it is professional, personal, or academic. I think that sometimes when people give you feedback, the way I take it is the same thing. I just need to learn to be more open-minded, and this is not something that some people can do and some people cannot do. This is something that we all can learn over time. It's including our behavior, our thought, and we can learn to do this. It just takes time.
So by the time you got to us, you were really good at taking feedback. So this is like during the pageant training, what was this part like? Because we really pushed you both physically and mentally and even spiritually, right? What was this journey like for you in terms of learning how to be coached from all different types of coaches now?
So, by the time I came to Miss Asian Global, I was already prepared because I competed in some of the beauty pageant before. And when I came here, I already know what to expect. And at this time, I was really good at taking feedback. I'm ready to go. I told myself the day before, I was look at myself in the mirror and I told myself, that's it. Whatever people give you, you're gonna take it and you're gonna learn from it. And that's exactly what I tell myself the day before. And when I walked in, I had all this coach lesson from Francis, from Emily, from Cindy, from everybody in the Miss Asian Global family. I feel very grateful because every time they give me a feedback, it's actually right. Because I take that feedback and I look at my past self. And I didn't think I did that great until they told me. And I appreciate the fact that they told me because in the past nobody ever tell me. So I look really, really silly at doing something and nobody ever tell me. And they say, oh, you did great. But that wasn't feedback. I just look really, I just did not look very good in the past. So if I watch my old video from the past, for my past pageant, or my interview video, or my Q&A video, it wasn't that good. So when, for example, Francis gave me a feedback about changing certain things, I find it very helpful. And I did not feel offended at all. I actually feel very thankful, and I was very happy to take those feedback and improve myself. And because of that, I'm able to be on Miss Asian Global stage and be very comfortable with myself. I was able to really step out of that boundary that I set for myself that stopped me from being successful. And I was able to step out of that. And I was doing much better than before. I've never felt so comfortable being on stage like during Miss Asian Global pageant. And because of that, as a result, I made it to the top 8, which is one of the highest achievement I ever got. And I got another title, which is Miss Amanda Talk, and I helped raise funds for this event as well. And I was very honored to be one of the title in the Mac family, one of their board members. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm very thankful.
So how does one person get from the point where they resent and feel insulted with feedback to the point where they are now grateful for feedback? How does one get to that point?
Well, what I do is that the first thing I do is that when somebody gives me a feedback, I kind of take back a little bit, but at the same time, I kind of think about it. And I told myself that it takes time. At first, it was very hard. And but I'm a very positive person. I always tell myself that it is okay. It takes time. And if you cannot handle feedback today, you can do better tomorrow. And that's what I always tell myself every single day. And that's how I get to this point where I was able to take feedback anywhere I go. For example, at work, my manager is a very harsh person. Every time he gives me a feedback, it's not very pleasant. and at first, and as a young adult, at this time, I'm still taken aback from his feedback, right? But because I tell myself every day, it is okay. These people care about you. They want you to do good. So that's why they tell you all this thing. And sometimes some people are not the softest person, like are not the softest people when they give you feedback. But you're gonna learn it that way, right? So, and because he was very harsh, I do my job much better than when I first started. So I actually, I learned that way. You know, sometimes you learn from the hard lesson, right? And that's what I always tell myself. That's how I learn.
So I do know that you're going to take the training we gave you and you're going to go to yet another pageant. Tell us a bit about that new journey you have.
Oh yeah, so in the future, actually in a couple months, I plan to do Miss Supranational USA. And all of the lesson, all of the coaching that I got here will apply to that pageant. And I know that is gonna benefit me from it, and I know I'm gonna do great because all these people here, they still care about me, they still coaching me, they never leave me behind. So I'm gonna take all this lesson that I learned from Matt to go to that next pageant, and hopefully I can make some good achievement out of it.
What are the future things beyond the pageant that you want to do?
So in the future, one of the things that is on my checklist is to get promoted in my job. Because I really enjoy doing my job, and I actually working under the Department of Human Resource as a contractor for the U.S. government. And I want to continue to move up in that role because I work with a lot of soldiers, I work with a lot of military personnel where I actually help them transition from active duty to civilian life. And it's not just that, is I also like the person being there for them, where I give them mental health resource, I give them any resource out there that they need, either a job, either coach them with financial concern, you know, anything that I could do, I would refer them to the people that can help them if I cannot help them. And so that's what I do. I want this soldier to be successful, and that's what I'm there. And I want to continue to move up because I want to improve this program. This program is a little bit new to the military in general, so it still needs a lot of improvement. And I, as a person that work from the lowest level, I can see those flaws. And if I can get to the top one day, which I wish that I could be the director of the transition assistance program one day for the soldier, I would make a lot of positive change to the soldier because I'm going to take that feedback and I'm going to turn that into the positive aspect that they want to see in the future. The soldier come to me and tell me every day, hey, Nguyen, I need you to change this, I need you to add this, I need you to do this. And I write all those things down. And I brought it to my boss, and he actually pushed it up for people to see. I do care about, you know, people feedback. And again, every single day, not only I have to give people feedback, but I have to take feedback. And I learn from it every day. I learn something new.
Thank you so much for coming all the way from Germany and telling us about your journey and how you learn how to take feedback in a very constructive way and be able to make it your own, and all the different areas that you're now going with, both in pageantry and also in your social impact. Thank you so much, Quynh.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.